I could live without R. Kelly. The same way how I could live without a lot of other shit. I don't hold on. I don't cling on to things. It's like, yo, like, damn, this person did and my life ain't gonna stop over fucking Step in the Name of Love. I don't give a fuck about that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, I'm easy. I could detach from anything.
Hey, look, man, I've done movie posters for Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
If it turned out that he actually did some shit, I have no problem getting rid of him.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't problem doing that.
This is where you stand as a man.
So when you say you get rid of him, right? Is it just that you just don't like if the song comes on, I'm not
dancing. I don't fuck with that. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm not knocking nobody else who does because everybody got their own, path that they gotta walk and their own little red wagon they gotta drag. I'm just not gonna.
I'm not gonna fuck with it.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna judge nobody else who is.
And you're not gonna hate on them neither.
Yeah. Man, look, that's your life, bro. I'm just trying to raise a son at this point, right? So I don't.
Because you gotta think about it like this, and this is all I say, and this is why I was talking about my pops, right? But like, you just brought up a great point. You said, "Yo, you gotta raise a son. Oh, you got a son to raise." Now, if your son grows up and he sees you as compromised, he's gonna. If he says, if he says one thing, but then this is cool, he's looking at you as That's how I would have looked at my pops. Like, yo, this dude is compromised. Yeah. You gotta make certain.
I never thought about
that. You gotta make certain choices. Like, yo, this is my choice. I'm gonna stick with it. Right or wrong, indifferent.
If they can prove it.
Nobody's perfect.
You can get compromised and I didn't even know you compromised.
That's true too. That's true too. But at the same time, it's like, yo, like that perception is like, yo, well, my dad said this, and he's stuck with it. Like, you could change your mind about things, but it's just like how you handle shit. That's what I think.
Yeah. We were recording, by the way.
Oh, that's shit.
Because I don't mind
it. Do you think Spike would still do the Michael Jackson Day? If, like, let's just say proof.
Let's just say that we're planning that.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it at that. That block party is planned to happen.
All right.
Mm-hmm. In the sense of proving guilty.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Like I said, it's a doc. Docs can paint a certain point of view.
And he's not here to justify himself.
To defend himself, right?
So.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a doc can play some strings and put some little narratives behind it, and it could potentially paint a person a certain picture. It's all editing. It's theatrical. Hollywood goal is to always make money, right?
Right.
And if making money off, telling a story about a famous person such as Michael Jackson, who unfortunately made a lot of bad decisions around, interacting with underage kids, and if that can actually make them money, then it's going to happen.
I mean,
I would say think about it also in the sense that, because I think that a lot of times this conversation I had is that I think that there was a real mental issue.
Oh yeah,
sure.
And it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
I'm about to say, some people say that's an excuse.
Some people, it's not an excuse, but it needs to be an awareness. Like, I'm kind of a little bit over the whole mental health thing. Forgive me, because I feel like it's being beaten and forced upon. But I really do think that he had because remember, he had no childhood. Right. So you were ripped from that. So for him, what if he really identified as a 12-year-old, even though he was 20? Now he's able to relive. Like, I don't have to go on tour. I can stay and live in my I had a mansion that has a Ferris wheel and,
it's kind of like kids. I mean, this is a bad comparison, but it's kind of like kids growing up who didn't have Jordans, and then now you're 20 and you buying all the Jordans that you wanted. Yeah. That you couldn't
perfect
get as a
example.
kid.
Yeah.
It's like mentally the reason why you buy all these sneakers is because your parents couldn't afford it, and now you got the money.
Exactly.
So now you want to buy it.
And so I think that is something that is very important to be impressed upon, because it doesn't take away from what they allegedly did. But I just think that,
it's something that you need to examine.
Exactly.
Let me tell you a quick story. One time, no shade to these guys, but when I was working at Red Lobster,
that was my dream job in high school. Did you know? I never
great biscuits.
Yeah.
Why?
I got my own
he was
reasons.
in high school.
In high school, that was like kids had a job after school.
There was a lot of nice.
I always wanted to work at Red Lobster.
There was a lot of nice waitresses and
it was probably a clean restaurant. It was
the food, man. I still eat at Red Lobster.
It's lobster.
You know what it is? To me, it's a family thing.
Canceled.
It's a family thing because when I was when I was a kid, baptism, graduation, all that stuff, my family always used to go to Red Lobster.
I went to China's buffet.
Yo, we used to go to Red Lobster.
I went to Red Lobster.
We used to steal like the
my aunt used to steal the cups.
Yo, those cheddar biscuits was the bomb.
They still good.
I can't eat it though. I can't eat the lobster.
You should still silverware for Red Lobster.
Really?
Yo, I'm gonna take that.
Never was a fan.
I'm never gonna. It's a crazy story.
Oh, what? What's the story?
Red Lobster.
What?
I would never eat there.
Why?
Why? Tell her on air. No, it's
not.
not.
Go ahead.
She had a bad experience.
Wait, real quick before we get into that, we're gonna go around the room. We got.
Oh, what's goody? Easy Rose. What's going on? What's poppin'?
It's your boy AD. Place to be all the way for ATL, baby.
All right, and we got a special guest here.
Shanisha's changing lives.
All right, go follow that. And your boy Tony Stallion here. But yo, let's hear this Red Lobster story. Sounds interesting.
So crazy. It's so embarrassing. We went to. I was in a newspaper club in high school, and so at the final of the year thing, the teacher brought us a Red Lobster, whatever. You know, he had the company card or whatever. Or I think it was his card actually. So he was like, "Get whatever you want." So I said, "All right." So I got like that special that has the butter shrimp, all types of shrimp, all type of lobster, whatever. I just remember it being
probably
like
shrimp fest. So.
Yeah, it was crazy. I just remember it being like $30, and in high school spending $30 on a meal, that's crazy. So I was like, yes. So I had that meal, and I remember going to the bathroom. Everybody was going to the bathroom in the place, right? And I was just like, I don't know. I just went to the bathroom before I get on the train, use the bathroom regular. So that was good. So but everybody was in the bathroom. So then we get out, we go on the train. We're on the L train. You know the 14th Street, that long path, right? So we taking the L train now. We get out, we take that long path, and I'm on the train. I start feeling like hot, like. I'm on the train. I'm sweating. Like bullets. I'm buttoning my thing, and I start turning orange, orange. And my friend's like, "What's wrong with you?" Like, oh my god, it's so embarrassing. And
you got food poison?
Did you just find out you was allergic to the shrimp? That
Nah, I'm not even allergic to it. It was just Red Lobster. I don't know. All right, it sounds so crazy. It's so embarrassing. But when you pass gas, that warning. That warning, right? Right? So that warning, right? So I'm like, all right, maybe it's a little gas. So it's the warning one, and all I know is the whole train smelled crazy.
So BG's real.
And I'm hanging out with some ghetto friends, and they just like, yo, what's that smell? Like mad, like hotting it up, right? So they like. It was Shanisha.
Cleared the whole cart.
Right there. I'm like, no, it's not it. I guess so. Why you sweating like that? Right? Like crazy, just pointing everything. I'm like, y'all did. And I felt so bad because, on the train, that side rail, that's like with the 3 spaces, right?
Yeah.
Some lady head was like resting on the thing. And then she just got up. She was just looking around like, did you really just do that? I felt so bad. But that's not even I'm not even going to the other part of the story. But my friend, I was like,
we're gonna leave it there.
I was like to my friend, I'm like, bro, can I go to your house? Her mom's like, nah.
Nah, you gotta go home.
She's like, nah. She's like, no, you can't come to my house. And I'm like, oh.
You gotta go to a back alley or something.
Nah, I feel you.
But basically, right?
That's the reason why I don't eat. I don't eat certain things because of like mac and cheese. I love mac and cheese, but I just don't eat it because
when I go out, I only eat certain things with carbs because I don't want to.
I've never had that experience.
Hey, look, I'm from Atlanta, and I tell people all the time I don't like Waffle House. Nothing against Waffle House, but I don't like Waffle House.
I don't like
and
pork.
People are like, yo, how you from Atlanta and you not like Waffle House? Easily, I ate that shit and got sick. Yeah. I don't fuck Waffle House.
That makes sense.
I get you. I totally get you. But every time I say that, people are like, yo, you ain't from Atlanta. I'm like, fuck you. I am from Atlanta. But I'm like, I don't fuck with Waffle House.
Yeah, like once you get that bad experience, like it's
done.
Yeah, so they cancel.
And not to justify R. Kelly or Michael Jackson, but I would like to see a documentary on Steven Tyler or Elvis.
That ain't gonna happen.
Or other people.
Oh no,
it's not gonna happen. That's a whole nother part, though.
Yeah,
it is. Like Black Pain and Black Monsters are being painted, are being like put out there, but I mean, where's the other guys?
Exactly.
Yeah. I know on the last pod I said fuck Hulu, but they definitely dropped their price.
$5.99, right?
I don't know how long. I don't know if this is like a fire sale, no pun intended, but like it's $5.99. Netflix actually raised their price. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it happened in the same week.
That's crazy.
It happened.
Is that sustainable?
So how much is Netflix?
So I think what's happening is with Netflix, once they raise their price, Hulu announced that for the entry level Hulu kind of package, they decreased their price, but the prices on all the more premium stuff is actually going up.
So they're doing it like attrition. They're trying to or recruiting. They're trying to.
So you got to think about it, right? Because like we're in a time where everybody's pretty much cutting cords. And you got to think about it like Netflix and Hulu. There's like a 90% overlap.
Yeah, it is.
So like when I say like a 90% overlap is like Tony.
The same shit.
Yeah, like so if Tony has Netflix, he has Hulu as well. Netflix is at 58 million subscribers and Hulu is at 25 million subscribers. So I think Hulu's kind of like looked at it as, hey, once we seen that their price has gone up, there's an opportunity for us to kind of grab some of those subscribers, and at the same time try to get some of those new people who are like cutting courses. I think it's pretty good.
But when you say 90% overlap, do you mean like in content? Like they
no, in subscriptions.
Content? Oh, subscriptions.
So like,
I want to revisit the overlap conversation because they do share some properties.
Yeah,
definitely this Fire documentary that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. That overlap conversation I think is interesting because I want to really dive deep into that, right? Because it's like if things are overlapping, then where's the value prop?
Right. So to that point, when Netflix actually went up on their price and when Hulu went from $7.99 to $5.99, as a consumer, if I have both services, streaming services, like my price point is still the same for the entry level. For like if I'm paying like $19 or $20, it's still the same.
Yeah.
For both streaming services.
But I guess do you need? Well, I guess speaking in the Fryer documentary, you do need both because they had something super interesting. Fryer, if you haven't seen it, I don't know, you living under a rock, but
I'm under a rock.
Big rock.
You heard about Fryer Fest, right?
I've heard of it. Yes.
All right. So basically,
Ja Rule, Queens, baby, Hollis, what's popping?
Get the money.
I'm not gonna get into that.
Hide the money and take the money for sure.
So I'm gonna get into the Ja Rule part. I think the biggest thing with Fryer to explore is this whole clickbait kind of trolling era of marketing, because they basically, I think you said this before we talked.
Yeah,
they took Instagram lifestyle and
tried
to make it real.
Right. I mean, it's weird because, the whole festival started out really as a result of these guys trying to promote
an app,
the booking app that they developed, right? And the booking app took away the pain points and frictions of booking high-powered or high-class artists, right? So everybody from Lil Wayne to everybody on Good Friday or somewhere in between, you can book these guys. But, that use case is for people with obviously a lot of money, right? So even the people who was duped out of the money to go to the Fire Festival in the first place, these are the people who would book all these artists for like bar mitzvahs or, rich people parties, right? So even the people who got fucked over, it was a bunch of, rich kids who could spend $20,000.
So you basically saying fuck them?
What kind of to a certain degree, fuck them. But however, I just look at it like, not to give any spoilers, but, at some point you're going to probably watch both, right? But just looking at this purely from a media platform positioning, I find it very strange that two competing streaming platforms are telling the exact same story at the exact same time
with slight difference.
Okay, so Hulu is interviewing Billy and Netflix didn't, but ultimately it's the same story.
Yeah,
ultimately it goes back to what Rose talked about, the overlap, right? And that lets me know that we're in a time now that the same group of people, different sides of that group, can literally sell the same story to some Hollywood platforms that streams content, and they can release it at the same time, knowing that more and more people are going to look at both because it's a consumption culture, to see what's the difference, when the real difference is really not that much, right? It's very nominal.
Yeah, it's almost like when... The way I'm looking at it is like when you have a product or you have like an album and it's like two versions of the album. Yeah. It's the same album. Like, oh yeah, well, damn, well, if I got this version of the album, like it's only this song, but if I got the extended version, like you get this song, and that song, like which one to get. Right. And it's sold in two different places. They give you
a poster or a t-shirt or nothing.
Yeah, man. So they
give you an extra scene. That was it, right?
Yeah, man. It's like, they're still like hustling.
and that's weird because if you look at, I just got a crazy mind, but some of the same footage was used in both documentaries.
A lot of
the same characters obviously involved, but this was all different depending on who's producing it. Vice produced the one, and some other company, fuck Jerry, Jerry Media, was the one that produced the one for Netflix. Billboard, and I forgot the other company, produced the one for Hulu. Because I'm weird like that. I read credits now, right? Working on film projects. I literally watch all the credits because that's who you really see behind a film or anything, right? But ultimately, these guys are using the same content, telling the same story on competing platforms. Now, 10 years ago, no way you're going to have the same documentary on HBO that's going to appear on Showtime.
Yeah.
Right? Or Cinemax. It just wouldn't happen. Like, even to try to sell that in Hollywood, you're going to sell that. One person got to buy it. But that's it.
Rights.
Especially in the same market, right? It'd be different if you're selling it here in America versus some other country. But literally, people watch one of the Fire documentaries and literally went and watched the other. I did it. I don't even have a Hulu account. Yeah. I started a Hulu a month long. And I'm going to cancel at some point just so I can watch the other one. Right. But it's amazing. All this stuff is really set up to gather people's information. Right? For the mere fact that I log back into my Hulu, they're going to start hitting me up with a bunch of emails from like this CRM system. And next thing you know, I'm just might consider Hulu. So it's weird. Like, all this shit was meant to just drive engagement across the board, which is ultimately leads into this trolling culture.
Well, yeah, I think that's super important because if you think about, well, when you watch the documentary, if you see how they promoted the festival, a lot of it from a legal perspective is basically false advertising from like a
it was false advertising.
Like, from like a government
100%.
Because it's like you have these, but I guess my two questions. One, what is trolling or what is clickbait? And then two, like, how does that? Who's responsible for that?
I think the bigger question is, what is an ad and what is not an ad? I think that's the bigger question. Number one. Number two, can a ad come from anybody? Which technically it can because of the social media and all the tools. Number three, can a brand troll like a regular person? Because they have in the past. And does trolling, they have. Brands have done it. But it's the thing. You knew what a brand was doing it versus people nowadays, you don't know if they're for real or not. And even brands and news outlets, you just don't know what's real and what's not real because of people can just throw things out and you literally don't have to validate anything, right? So it feel like that in today's world, I don't know if I'm watching an ad from a particular person, entity, or a brand, or I'm just watching somebody clowning, authentically being a clown. I don't know.
For the record, we're just clowning.
We're not selling shit either. It's no CPMs attached with this on podcast. Right now. It's no ads. It's none of that. So we got no table reads. This shit is just motherfuckers talking, right?
Right.
But I do question everything, man. It's sad that we live in an environment right now that you literally have to question every single thing that's put out.
Yeah, and that's just because of the way information is being released as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, like from traditional media or more like antiquated approach. It's like, if you were doing something on television, it was NBC, CBS, and like whatever, like those are the big guys, and like they had their news platforms or whatever. Seeing it, like there was checkpoints.
Yeah, it was.
And you had to validate these things. Yeah. And even the newspaper, like you had to keep finding these sources of information and checking to see if it's right because it was all about credibility.
Even an agency would never, an agency from back and when, from just 10 years ago, they'd have never took on the Fire Festival if they didn't know the festival was going to actually manifest.
Exactly.
So fuck Jerry Media. While the people just say, well, it wasn't their fault. It wasn't your fault, but you knew this shit wasn't going to launch in 6 months.
Yeah.
You took the assignment. Well,
Yeah, I mean.
They bought the dream.
Yeah.
And now today, with everyone having the power to kind of do everything from their devices, right?
Yeah, what's accountability?
Right. So it's like, my mobile device, I can have my own YouTube channel and release information.
Mm-hmm.
I could do some fact checking, but like whatever, like it's almost like I think we've had the conversation about the difference between like a journalist and a blogger, and like so it's like, all right, we spoke about before, like DJ Academics, like he releases information, like yes, he fact checks, but
Does he?
No, I think he
don't
does.
really do the work.
No, I think he. Like, if he's talking about some legal stuff, like, I think the documentation that he's using is, like, some...
I think he takes it from someone who did fact check it.
Yeah.
And then he reposts if that's I think that's a possibility, but, like, I think he's more about steering a narrative about what things, like, versus, like, releasing information, just saying, like, hey, like, I'm just releasing it from an objective standpoint, and this is just...
It's my opinion.
Right.
But opinions have been passed as... true,
right? And then, but everyone has an opinion. So like that's where the confusion is.
It is.
Yeah.
So what's an ad and what's not an ad?
I think he plays both parts though. If you notice, he'll post things and he'll post it to leave it open for discussion because discussion drives engagement, right?
It does.
And that means more
clicks.
Exactly, more
right.
clicks. And then he'll release the fact, right? I don't know if he does the fact check, but he released the fact, and a lot of times, sometimes the fact has already been out, and he's probably taking it from someplace else.
Yeah.
But I think he definitely plays both parts. I don't know how active he is in actually doing the research himself.
Funny you say that, Shanisha, because it's kind of like now because of social media and digital. Editorials, journalism, advertising, entertainment have fused together. Yeah. So you literally can't tell what's what.
Right.
Back in the days, the advertorial was labeled advertorial. Mm-hmm. Advertisement was like, this is advertisement. Journalism, it came from certain sources, right? Entertainment only came from entertainment companies.
So a good point to that. Someone I don't have any facts behind it, but someone pointed out when for those hip hop listeners, when Offset came on stage to apologize to Cardi B,
yeah,
they had matching outfits. The roses were white. Like her publicist, if you look in the video, was in the background. So from that perspective, it's like
it looks a little weird.
It looks like
weird.
Like she said she didn't know, but maybe her people knew. But to your point, it's like, how do you separate? Like, oh man, he's like genuine. He came in, blah blah, or the record cover is like, all right, she's gonna be performing here. You can already see her. It's
like a reality show, right?
It's like we're gonna set it up where you could come in. You're both gonna be wearing white. You can have white roses.
Right.
Even if she didn't know, I think she didn't know. But her team definitely, her camp did know, and her camp said it. Her name is P.
Yeah.
I forget what it stands for. Patience. So Patience, who's a publicist, actually said, that's family to me. Offset is family to me. So if he wants, if I want to fight for their marriage with my brother, then I'm gonna fight for, So she did actually come out and say it. So I think that, she staged it, and she's very, very good at what she does.
Right.
And sounds.
Who, Cardi B?
Not just Cardi B.
Patience.
Her team.
Patience.
Yeah. So. Patience, so she probably did say, like, we're going to go for the look of it. You're going to match her, right, because you guys are one. She probably sold the whole theme and dream of it because she's good at that stuff, so I don't see it, being not strategic. It was very strategic.
Yeah.
But I don't think she knew about it. She did look genuinely frustrated, but also...
I'd be tight, too.
Frustrated, but a little bit happy about it.
But people talked about it too, though.
Exactly.
And that drove that social engagement through the roof.
Exactly. And the publicist knows what she's doing. That's her job. The job is engagement at all times.
So speaking of engagement and trolling, this whole what's this guy's name? The guy from
Jesse Smollett.
Yeah. What do you think about regardless of the situation, because it's horrific, but like, what do you think about? To me, I think what do you think about the lines blending, or like where like they're saying show love to him, but also listen to his album?
I think that's weird. I mean, if somebody get attacked, okay, me. If I get attacked today, right, for whatever reason,
by my art,
all of a sudden somebody I know, one of you motherfuckers, be like, "Yo, AD got attacked," but go buy that hot ass new piece of like art he just came out with because he got to feed his kid. That's a little weird for me, right? For me, I'd be more like, look, this is not a laughing matter. My art got nothing to do with me in a situation of me getting attacked. I want to find these guys and really hope that this doesn't happen to somebody else, right? That's how I feel.
Right.
I do feel like information coming from that particular incident, it has a lot of holes in it, in my opinion, from what I noticed. Like, just watching some of the footage, all the things he said, I did see in the footage. It's weird that somebody's going to walk around with a noose on for 3 hours. It's weird. Hey, I'm from the South. I've never seen somebody with a noose on, because people don't play like that, right? So if somebody was to have a noose put on him, immediately we riding on motherfuckers. It's gonna be that kind of severity, right? Nobody's gonna walk around with a noose on their fucking neck for 3 hours. No, we gonna go get the police, or I'm gonna go get some of my cousins, and we're gonna get this motherfucker, right? It's that kind of thing, right?
Right.
You know, I mean, you really take that shit kind of serious, right? Because, you know, somebody attacked me, we're gonna go get this motherfucker, right? Me, my siblings, cousins, whatever. Number two, if it is like this notion that some people with some MAGA hats on, it just feels a little like, okay, a MAGA hat, a noose.
2 a.m.
2 a.m. Cold and bleach. Like, god damn, that's a lot of shit.
Freezing in Chicago.
And for the record, lowest temperatures in
been cold.
It's like negative 20.
It's weird, man. It just feel like, I don't know if he was, you know, from what I've been checking, and it seems like
a lot of the points just seem.
Well, yeah, and this story got picked up on social first. And a lot of news outlets picked it up.
TMZ.
But they're walking back from it because it's a lot of holes in it, right? But whether this story is real or not, whatever the case may be, the reasons behind this attack is questionable. And I think this idea of what's going on with social media, it doesn't validate anything. And we need to sometimes take a step back and see, like, whatever we're talking about or going to post, let's get all the facts first. Mm-hmm. Let's make sure that what we're saying or what we're going to get behind is actually real. The thing that happened with all these brothers and sisters getting killed by the police, well, you saw the facts. There was video. Laquan McDonald, you saw the video. Eric Garner, everybody, all those guys. I don't even want to get into the names. Like, right. I mean, you saw the videos, man. Alton Sterling, Philando Castile. The name, you can keep going like down the list. You literally saw the video, right? Yeah. So you didn't really need a whole lot much more. Maybe what happened before that, but you knew the outcome from that. Right. I think with this thing with Jesse, from my understanding, and it could be wrong, you know, maybe he just was out there doing some shit, and motherfuckers didn't like what he was doing with their boo, and they gave him a pumpkin head. And then his manager, he called his manager first. He didn't even call the police. And you know, managers, just like you said, their job is to how to make a situation work for the best interest of their client. Yep. If it means making up some stories, then so be it.
So I guess we gotta wait to see.
We'll wait to see. But it's a lot of holes in that story. Yeah. And if it's wrong, hey, we're wrong. But that story got a lot of holes in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's hard for me.
And for Taraji to come on and tell me I go stream his album? Fuck out of here, Taraji.
It's all bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Like, at the end of the day, like, I mean, and you know, you hit on a few points. You're talking about like people will actually die by whether it's police brutality or just like murder by police, right? Like, so that's a different conversation where it's recorded. Right. Now we have a situation where it's this story about this guy getting attacked going to Subway's 2 a.m. I don't even know if Subway is open at 2 a.m., but that's another story. Maybe what you said earlier could be a 24-hour one, and then it's like cold as shit. People are wearing MAGA hats with masks on. And
a mask.
And a mask. I mean, with a mask on, right? So, I mean, but then they're like, oh, well, it took you a while to actually call the police. You call your manager. You don't want to release your phone. So now it's almost like, yo, this is some bullshit. I'm looking at this is some bullshit. Now, think about all the narratives that's being spun here. Like, because they're spinning.
Yeah,
right?
It's a lot of spin.
You got
hate crimes.
You hate crime. Bring an LGBTQ community. All right, cool.
Black
community. All right. Then we're talking about MAGA, like the whole Republican. Even the fucking president spoke about this. So now think about this, right? For me, I'm not gonna lie. I laughed at this shit. I couldn't take it seriously.
First, I asked like, "Yo, where's the security?
And where are you going? Ain't nothing good happening at 2 a.m. Look."
And Subways is trash, by the way, in the daytime.
So
how you get a good sub at 2:00 in the morning?
Yeah, he was looking for a foot long. He was looking for a foot long, all right. But that's another conversation. He backed away from the mic, but take this ride with me, right? So now we're like, yo, here is a situation where black people are not gonna be taken seriously.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's like.
If evidence comes back.
If evidence, I mean, the way it's looking, I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not going to say it didn't happen because he obviously was attacking. I'm not saying like, yo, like him being attacked, that was bullshit. No. The man was attacked. He was hurt. I'm happy he's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he performed at a concert the other night, and he said that he fought back. Whatever, that's cool. But I'm just saying, man, like, you got to give us more. I feel like I just need a little bit more.